It's one of the most iconic moments in the history of golf. The locale, the 18th hole on the stadium course at the Players Championship. The opponent had won 10 of his previous 16 starts. The golf world was looking for someone who could tame a tiger.
Be the right club.
And with a 6-iron from 179, the moment was born.
Be the right club.
Welcome to the Be the Right Club Today podcast, presented by Makefield Putters.
Be the right club today.
Now, here are your hosts, Mark Greenhouch and Todd Burrell.
Hello and welcome to the Be the Right Club Today podcast, sponsored by, or I should say presented by Makefield Putters, our fine sponsor, Makefield Putters. Todd, I'm still got you on my list to get down there and do for a little club fitting.
Do it. Everybody's doing it. We're selling putters left and right. Once they putt with these things, I'm telling you, I've said it before, they kind of sell themselves.
What's going out the door? Is it the blade? Is it a combination?
A lot of interest in the blade. I haven't sold one yet. I've got a fitting actually lined up next week for the blade, to look at the blade. But a lot of their mallet styles the mallets are so popular right now that a lot of the mallet styles, once they roll it with it, they like the look, and the adjustability is great with the weight and everything. It's pretty much sells itself.
Nice. Well, I'm about 4 weeks post cortisone shot. I swung a club the other day and I could get past 3/4, so that's a good sign. I'm going back in for physical therapy tomorrow. I'm going to see if maybe there's a stretching exercise that I can do to get a little more flexibility in the old shoulder going back, but the pain seems to be doing better with all of the exercises that I'm doing, so progress.
Good. Do you get a diagnosis on that? Just old?
No, there was no... obviously you have to do an MRI to find out if there's a tear in there somewhere. He just actually felt like that there was some muscles on the backside that needed strengthening. And because they had weakened for some reason, maybe because I don't play golf that much anymore, honestly. I mean, I asked him that and he said it's a possibility that, I'm so used to pulling down with the left arm and the backside of my shoulder that it's not getting used as much. So working on these exercises to strengthen the muscles back there and then see if it'll keep my shoulder a little more stable.
Good luck with that.
Appreciate it.
Don't hurt yourself worse.
So maybe I'll go to like a X Golf or Top Golf or something like that and hit some shots and see how it goes. And then maybe we'll hit some range balls one day and come down and see you.
Yeah, start off the tee, work your way up to the mats.
Yeah.
Because the mats, as you know, can cause injury if you're not doing it the right way.
Oh, yes. We'll have to we got a new sponsor for the radio show that does makes the molds for you to put grass in your mat.
Oh, perfect.
Real grass. So fairway, rough, and sand for bunker shots.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You'll have to look into that. But anyway, no guests tonight except for you and I. And yep. I think we should talk a little bit about the fan experience. Is there any dominance in golf right now? And I guess since it's PGA week, let's preview the PGA a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, that, and Truist was just in town, so we've got some material there. We can discuss how that played out, and we were both out there at times, so we can talk about how that fan experience was and how it looked like for a signature event right before a major.
So the fan experience for the Truist, obviously changing sponsors. They're trying to do some things different. We, on the Golf Shop radio show, broadcast from South End, which was almost down at the bottom. It was always funny. Maddie and I talked about it wasn't so bad getting there because it was all downhill. Because like 100 yards from where we were sitting is the lowest point in the golf course, which is off to the right side of the 12.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see that spot. So, everything runs down to that part of the golf course. And then, of course, when you have to leave and lug all the equipment, you're going back uphill. And, no cart ride for us. But interesting that they keep improving the kind of chill out areas to try and maybe bring more of the casual golf fans in so that they can maybe sit and watch the TV while they're having a snack or a beer or an ice cream or something along those lines. So it's always nice from that perspective to see how tournaments are trying to adjust to get more than just the avid golfers out there.
Yeah, I don't know what you felt when you were out there, but I was out there with my wife, and she doesn't go to a lot of golf tournaments, but she made the comment, it's kind of quiet out here. Like it wasn't as rowdy as I remembered it, especially around the 17, 16 green, 17 tee, 17 green area. Maybe that's because they spread some of that out in that south end area. I did notice that they had different pavilions and areas that you could go. They had like a betting lounge, I think I saw, and then there's like a Tito's lounge and some other areas, but it did seem kind of lower key. I don't know if you felt that way as well.
Yeah, it's probably a mixture of things, right? I mean, you have tee times that go from 7:30 in the morning till 2 o'clock or whatever it was, 1:30 in the afternoon. So the field's spread out. I guarantee you there was a lot of people following Rory about mid-pack. And maybe some of that's due to the leaderboard. I mean, people aren't, on the Cam Young bandwagon yet, maybe. Obviously, you had Christopher, go ahead and say his last name. You were studying.
Rayton.
Alex Fitzpatrick. You didn't have, I would say, the big time names in the mix as much. So maybe that had something to do with the almost like a lower. I mean, I watched the coverage at the end because I was supposed to see my son play his final soccer game, and they ended up playing one game for the championship, and I didn't see it. But when I was watching on TV, that last group didn't have a whole lot of people following it.
No, I really couldn't argue with her. I mean, I've been out there years where it's been crazy, and there were big names there. I mean, even Rory, like we followed Rory for a couple holes towards the end of the front nine, and we got right up on the ropes and were able to see him hit his tee shot on 8, and had a good view of him pitching it from the right side of the green there on 8 as well. Like it wasn't like 4 or 5, 6 people deep where you're trying to see it. It was, which is great, but there were tickets available too. I don't think the event was sold out.
So Rory's back nine start was your fault?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
So that begs the question, what has to happen for the fan experience? I mean, obviously Truist did a good job and Quail Hollow does a good job of maybe spreading things out, making it so that you can chill, relax. I think they moved the merchandise pavilion out where it was during the PGA down the left side of one to get that away from the practice areas and stuff like that. I didn't get a whole lot of time to poke around because I had to go to soccer tournaments both days. But what really these days is making the fan experience, do you think?
Well, I think it's not only being on the golf course and watching the golfers. I think it's getting to and from the golf course too is a huge part of it, especially for the casual fan. Like we obviously had our media access, so we had a shuttle and we could park closer to the event, but they do a pretty good job of the shuttling in and out of the event. A couple of the guys that I work with that I was able to get tickets for came in and came into my office today and said what a great experience they had and how pleased they were with how easy it was to come and go from the event. So, inside the venue, watching golf, I think that has a lot to do with the layout of the golf course itself. A lot of golf courses have been built the stadium, in the stadium format or they've created this almost exactly what it says, stadiums around certain holes so that fans have more of a stadium effect looking down on the golf course. I think Quail's a pretty good golf course to watch golf at. It's vast, it's big, there's a lot of areas around greens that are elevated that you can look down. So I think for watching golf, it's a pretty good venue. But I think you're kind of at the mercy of the venue itself. Like the ocean, we've played the Ocean Course together. I mean, that's not a good place to watch a golf tournament.
No.
you know, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
Aside from put high bleachers around every single hole out there, which obviously is not feasible with the lay of the land and the dunes and everything out there. So I think there's only so much you can do with certain venues for the fan experience watching the actual golf based on the lay of the land.
Yeah, for me, there's a happy medium somewhere, right? Between, nothing, no kind of build out, and the madness that you get at 16 at the Waste Management. I mean, I think that jumped the shark years ago for me. I mean, I love the theater that it creates, but the fact that the fans are out of control in there, I have a problem with. So to me, you can do that on certain holes. Would it be great to have, I don't even know how you do it. I mean, can you imagine them building, like, encasing 17 at Quail Hollow and almost putting stands out in the water? I mean, it's probably a huge liability, but, could you see something like that at that venue that creates the buzz on that hole? I mean, and again, Christopher Rattan coming down 17 and, after making that huge putt on 16, he's got a one-shot lead. I mean, picture trying to hit into that as a much more enclosed area, and if there's more pressure on that, if there's more people there, if there's more people following him, it's an interesting dynamic.
I think they can do a better job of getting the tee box surrounded on 17. You and I have hit that shot. I mean, from way back, that's a tough shot, and especially if the wind is not blowing, favorably. It's so easy to bail right there. I think all but one time I've played there, I've missed the green right. So, and that's even playing it up or playing it back. So I think it's, a lot of guys missed right yesterday out coming down the stretch as well. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going for that at Quail. I kind of feel like Quail, I kind of feel like it's not a rowdy venue, and I don't feel like they really want it to be. I know there's that area around 17 and kind of that south end area that they've kind of jazzed up a little bit, but I don't know that they're looking to push the envelope there. That's just the feel I get. And we've interviewed Mr. Harris a number of times too. I don't know that that's what he wants to project there either.
And for me, that Sunday pin on 17, I'm not a fan of that back center. I like the left side pin.
Yeah.
So let's just say that, Rattan's got a one-shot lead going to that hole, and that pin's on the left-hand side. Does he try and get it somewhere in there, or does he bail right? I mean, if you just aim at the center of the green and land it on the front center, that ball tracks all the way to the back. So it's not that big a deal. I always feel like there's more activity on that hole when you get it a little shorter and it's that front left pin.
Didn't they used to do left? Because
I think they've alternated a little bit between, like Saturday's pin back center I love, but I want something more towards the water on Sunday.
Remember when Sergio rinsed it there when he was in contention? Well, I think it was I think it was front left when he did that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I want action on that hole. I don't want people just hitting it in the middle of the green. Because if that pin's front left, even if you're on the green, let's say back right because you bailed a little bit, I mean, to two putt's a hell of a two putt.
Well, if it's front left and the tees are back and it's downwind, you have no chance.
No,
to get
but that's why I would say you would move it up a little bit. I mean, let's have these guys hitting 7 and 8 irons and taking shots, and if somebody's got to make one and they put it in there close, or they're going to yank it and hit it in the water, I mean, then there's some drama there at least.
Yeah. I mean, 16 was playing 545. Like, I know that thing is a runway downhill and you can hit it way down there. And guys were still hitting short irons in, but 18 was the hardest hole. I think played the hardest hole yesterday. And
it usually does.
Yeah. I mean, that's look what Ricky did. I mean, he hits a perfect tee shot and he's basically got the tournament in his hands and leaves it short left in the rough, and then hits a poor chip and makes bogey. And kind of that was the end of his hopes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting. We were talking about Maddie and I were talking about, like, somewhere between the old version of Quail Hollow's Green Mile and the new version. There's a version I liked. 18 is the toughest finishing hole in the PGA Tour. I mean, I think going into this weekend, it was 4.59.
There's so much that can go wrong there for every shot, really. You're grinding over the tee shot, and then if you happen to get that where you need to get it, it plays so long now that you've still got a really testy shot in. You can't bail right. Those bunkers are no bargain. That runoff area to the right's no bargain when the pin's where it was yesterday. Obviously Ricky was lucky to stay up. I mean, a lot of balls kicked down into the creek, and you've hit that shot. That's a demanding shot, especially if you've got a mid iron to 7-iron down in your hand. You got to hit a good shot.
And that's the other thing too, is like some of those runoff areas, they've raised the rough up a little bit. So, I mean, I've seen balls before where Ricky hit it just go right in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, even Jim Nantz was like, uh-oh. And then it's like, it stopped. Like as soon as it hit the rough, it stopped. And it's like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. But, then he hits a poor chip. It wasn't, I don't know. I didn't really see the lie, but it seemed like he hit a poor shot for what he had.
That was, like I said, because that rough was up. It's almost like got one of those really fluffy lies.
Yeah, he might have been into the grain a little bit. I don't really know if it was laying down or what the situation was over there. I didn't see a lot of ball, so must have been sitting down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it almost just, if it sounded and it looked like it just got grass, caught, and it just came out fluffy. And that's what happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, from the fan experience standpoint, it sounds like we're kind of both on the same page. Like, let's try and get a little more enthusiasm out there and get people in the right spots to create maybe something. I don't know.
There's so many factors, and the other factor is it's who you're watching. Like, there's nobody out there right now. Like, I know people got excited about Rory winning the Masters and all that, but like I said, I was out there following Rory. It wasn't a sea of people following Rory. You didn't see winding galleries coming down the fairway after Rory, like, oh, here comes Rory. Like, you knew it was him coming. Scotty doesn't do that. Like, there's no one out there right now that really moves the needle. And I know we're going to get into like kind of nobody's dominating golf right now, but nobody's really that exciting right now.
Yeah. So, I want to remind everybody about Makefield putters. They're made in the USA. Go out to makefieldgolf.com, find out about the technology, the radial cusp. Allows you to get an equator strike, gets that ball rolling quicker with the reduced skid effect, all of the different styles, the 3-weight system, all of the personalization that you can do, the colors that you can make your putter, the grips, the shafts, the bends in the shafts, all kinds of great stuff. If you're in the Charlotte area, catch Todd down at Carolina Lakes and go down there and get fitted for a putter. You can get fitted virtually. You can find another dealer that does it. Go out to makefieldgolf.com. Also, check out Peak Vision. See like you've never seen before with Peak Vision sunglasses. The difference is immediate. Get ready for the season and use the promo code GS15 at peakvision.com. That's promo code GS15 at peakvision.com.
You hit at least 18 putts around, more like low 30s. So you better make sure you got the right putter in your hand. And I don't think people have spent enough time trying to make sure they have that. Hi, I'm Hal Sutton. 25 years ago, I had the right club at the right moment, and it made a huge difference. Today, I've teamed up with Makefield putters. I now use the right putter today. You see, Makefield has unique radial cusp technology. The ball releases faster off the face and keeps the ball rolling more on its axis. The result is a straighter putt, more on target. When you get everything just right, the putter that fits you just right, the one that you believe in, your confidence should be oozing out of you. So I would encourage all consumers, go to the Makefield website and educate yourself. and get fitted correctly, get the right putter in your hand, and there's hope for better putting ahead.
You may have heard that polarized lenses are correct for the golf course. Stop! Polarized lenses can distort depth and diminish detail. Peak Vision's patented dual zone lens is non-polarized. You get 3 times more visual information for sharper reads, faster reactions, and total focus on fairways and greens. Don't buy polarized sunglasses. See like you've never seen before. Visit peakvision.com and use the code GS15. That's code GS15.
So, you teased it. Number one, do you like a dominant player in the game of golf? Whether you like him or not, do you like rooting for or against the dominant player?
I do, because I have an appreciation for how hard it is to dominate.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed by guys that get on these runs and are able to win week in, week out, or, win at a high rate. I think Tiger to this day won 1 out of every 4 or 5 events he teed it up in. I mean, that was, just mind blowing to me when he was doing that. And Scotty was on that kind of run for a while as well. And everyone was like, can he maintain it? And I think most people were like, no. And he's cooled off, and that's okay. I think the problem for the tour, when there's not like a dominant force, is there's no villain that people are rooting for or against, because usually that guy dominating is pretty polarizing, because people either want to see it, and appreciate it, like my perspective, or they're like, God, I'm sick of seeing it. Like, that's what I used to hear Tiger all the time is, God, I'm sick of seeing him win every week. Can't somebody else win? So there's 2 perspectives to it. I just, from a professional golf standpoint and being around the game and playing it as long as I have, just have a tremendous appreciation for how difficult that is to do. And I'm amazed by guys that get on those types of runs.
Yeah, I mean, we see guys have their runs. I mean, obviously Tiger had the big run, but then you saw the Jordan Spieth era, right? You saw Brooks Koepka get hot. You had Dustin Johnson, who was tough to beat. Even John Rahm was getting to that point at one point. Then you've had the Scotties. You had Rory had a run. There hasn't been somebody. I mean, Scotty's we don't know what Scotty's doing right now. That's the thing, is that, we were expecting more dominance. We kind of got a glimpse of it at the beginning of the year, and now we've kind of fallen a little flat, and we don't start tournaments that great. We seem to finish well, but, we're not seeing that same game out of Scotty. Brooks is still working his way back. I mean, he had to play the Myrtle Beach event this week. Rory wins the Masters for the 2nd time in a row, but pretty much between the 2 Masters victories, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Jordan Spieth is kind of nowhere to be found. Dustin Johnson is, out on Live Golf, living the good life, making a boatload of money and not really doing much golf-wise. I think last time I checked, he was like 28th on the points list going into the Virginia event. So, there's nobody out there. Colin Morikawa's had a little run. He's hurt. Who knows? Xander Schauffele won 2 majors 2 years ago. No, kind of not doing anything for us right now. So, I don't know. I either want like guys winning, like give me Cam Young winning a couple of times. You got Matt Fitzpatrick. I guess people aren't moved as much by Matt Fitzpatrick. We really haven't seen a Scotty, Rory, and somebody else. There hasn't been like a big 3, like an Arnie, Jack, and Gary.
Yeah, you need a rivalry or you need a villain. Those are like the storylines the tour really needs to have a lot of eyes on it, and a lot of kind of the casual fan, water cooler talk, if you will, in the mornings at the office. Like, nobody's really talking about that because there's nothing that exciting going on right now. Another couple guys to add to that list who have kind of had a resurgence lately be Jason Day. He had a run there for a little while, and Justin Thomas had a run there for a little while where he was mixing in majors with tour wins, and obviously had the injury and has kind of fought his way back and hasn't been able to find that form again. But it just goes to show how difficult it is to win one event, let alone a string of events or several majors in a year. I mean, these are historic runs these guys have made, and I mean, I think most golf fans that are real purist fans right now are hoping for a Scotty Rory rivalry, and to have that happen, you've got to have them play with each other in the final group or on the final day in contention and be battling it out, going back and forth. Like, we never got a ton of that with Phil and Tiger, but when we did, everybody had an appetite for it.
Yeah, my hope is that Scotty doesn't become like the Patrick Mahomes, right? Like all this fanfare out of the gate, doing everything, got a Super Bowl, and then next thing you know, like it's just kind of falling flat, right? I mean, they missed the playoffs, he got hurt. We'll see what this next year holds for Mahomes, but it's like, man, nobody can sustain. And he, like you said, the Tiger thing, I mean, 50% of the people liked that he was winning everything, and 50% of the people didn't like the fact that he was winning everything. So there's always somebody either celebrating or complaining when Tiger was winning.
And one thing Tiger never said that Scotty's said several times, in fact, since he's been on tour, is golf's not the most important thing in his life. It's not. And he's got his faith, he's got his family. I mean, those come 1-2 for him. He says it all the time. And he's also says he's worked his entire life to be doing what he's doing now, and he loves it, and he loves the grind, and he loves the practice aspect of it, and he loves playing his buddies for $5 Nassau's when he goes home and giving them a bunch of shots. He says that's as challenging as anything to beat those guys when he's giving them all the shots. But I could see Scotty walking away at any time because he's made more money than he ever dreamed of already. And the most important thing to him, his family's growing. The most important thing to him is his faith. Number one, he says it all the time, and then his family. So he's one of those guys who could just hang him up at any time, and I wouldn't be shocked if he did.
And for me, I think the equipment has leveled the playing field a little bit. I mean, even at the end with Tiger, I mean, the golf ball stopped spinning as much. So, I always felt like that Tiger struggled because the golf ball didn't move, and he was such a mover of the golf ball. I mean, he is one of the few players that hit every golf shot to fit the shot, right? So if the pin's in the back right, he's probably hitting a draw off the tee to the left side of the fairway or even the left rough, and then trying to cut one into that back right pin. So many guys just play the one shot. I mean, you go back to somebody like old school, like Kenny Perry. I mean, he hit one shot. But, you don't see a lot of guys moving it. Rory's probably one of those that does it more than anybody else. But you don't see a lot of guys, moving it right to left, left to right, and playing holes and playing golf shots, just because I don't think the ball moves as much anymore. And it's harder to do. Why not just hit it straight at the flag or hit it straight off the tee? You see these guys hitting little fades and little draws. I mean, that's why I think it's even the playing field at Augusta. We grew up understanding that you had to hit a draw as a right-handed player at Augusta, right, to win. And that's why Phil should have success there, because he was hitting he could hit a cut as a left-handed player and not have it get away from him. So he could have had an advantage as well. But it was always interesting that happened, and it seemed like as time went on, the guys that hit fades at Augusta started winning.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago, and you're not supposed to be able to win hitting a fade there, but the greatest champion of all time there hit a high fade. So, Jack got around that golf course fine hitting a fade, and that's pretty much all he hit off the tee. So, he also hit really, really high mid and long irons that made pins accessible to him that weren't accessible to other players in his era. But I'm with you on the golf ball. I mean, we play the new ball versus, I mean, we grew up hitting wound balls, balata balls, balls that could cut but could spin a ton, and you could move the ball a lot with those old golf balls. And nowadays you really got to work to move it, especially off the tee. It's, most right or left shots are more blocks or pulls versus slices or hooks, just because the golf ball doesn't spin the way that it used to. So yeah, to some degree, I think that has leveled the playing field, but there's always different ways you can make yourself better than everybody else. And if you look at the best players now, they all do one thing or two things better than everybody else, or at least at a higher percentage.
Yeah, and as we roll into the PGA Championship coming up this week, I was shocked. Now, I think it was Gary Williams on the show on Saturday said that Aronimink has 8,100 yards to play with. Now I know Kiowa has like 8,300 yards because when you and I play, I mean, they've got tee boxes that you can't even see. They're so far back at Kiowa. But here's what shocked me. The course is supposed to play for 2026, 7,400 yards, 7,394 yards. What blows me away, and we talk about all this distance and these golf courses aren't long enough. And I get it. These guys, distance isn't a big deal. But they played the 1962 PGA Championship, Todd, at Aronimink. What do you think the length of the golf course was then? 62.
Oh, man. 6,800?
7,045 yards.
Okay.
So we're only playing it 350 yards longer. How many years later?
Yeah,
60 years later? 64 years later? With all of the advancements that we've made and technology that's come into this game and how much further the ball's going, we've only added 300 yards to this golf course. That seems short to me, even as a par 70.
Yeah, well, a lot of yardage is a number, but as you know, especially we brought up Kiowa a couple times, like wind is a huge factor in how yardage plays out, right? Especially in a place that has 8,000 plus yards to play with. I mean, you generally have a good idea these days with weather, where the wind's going to be coming from and how hard and all that stuff. You can, that's kind of been predicted ahead of time, and you can set up the golf course accordingly. And you don't have to set up a 500, you don't have to set up a par 5, 590 to 650 yards to make it long if it's into the wind. You know that as good as I do. I mean, you could take a 530-yard par 5 if it's into a 20-mile-an-hour wind all day. I don't care how far you hit it. It's going to play longer. And on the other side of the coin, if you want to make a 550-yard, like 16 at Quail, if you want to make a 550-yard par 4, but it's downhill, the fairways are firm and fast, you're probably going to be downwind or not hurting or over the right shoulder, off the right shoulder type thing, you can turn a par 5 into a par 4. So I kind of like that they have all that yardage to play with. They can probably do some pretty cool things. They can probably have some short par 4s downwind. They can probably make some par 5s that ordinarily wouldn't be accessible, and they can mix up the lengths of the tees and have the holes play different each of the 4 days if they want to. It gives them a lot of variety there. And if they have weather issues, they can do things as well to make the golf course more playable. But we've talked about this a number of times. I think you're on the same page as me with the golf ball rollback. Like, I hate it. I don't think you need it. I think you can do a lot with the golf course, the narrowing of fairways and the growing of rough to make golf courses just as challenging without adding a ton of length to them.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at Quail Hollow, it was what, 15-1? 15 under wins?
15, yeah.
And, again, Gary Williams saying 10 days before the tournament started, he said it was the hardest golf course he had ever played. I mean, talking firm wise, not how difficult, but it's as firm as it had ever been. We had very dry spell here, not a whole lot of warm weather starting out the year, so even the ryegrass hadn't been growing all that great. So there wasn't as much rough, but we still only, and you got weather and it softened it up, and it should have been ideal scoring conditions. Yet these guys on Sunday struggled to get, to go. Nobody really went low except for Ricky. And I almost felt like there was going to be a shootout Sunday afternoon, and we were on the borderline of that, and then it kind of faded at the end. I mean, I felt like we were in the battle for a 3 or 4 way playoff there with about 4 or 5 holes to go, and it kind of didn't materialize for us. But it just proves the fact that there are golf courses that can play difficult with the right conditions, but I do think that we need to continue to have rough. And I'll be interested to see what the PGA does. because I love PGA setups. I love the fact that they give you the opportunity with good shots to make birdies and eagles, and if you hit bad shots, you make bogeys, doubles, and triples.
Yeah, and when the PGA was at Quail, I don't recall what the winning score was, but there was rough out there, and it was Bermuda rough as well because it wasn't at the time
It was
of year.
7 under par was the winning score. It was the highest score in a major that year.
Right. So there you go. I mean, like there's an example of the same golf course, different time of year, rough, a different setup with the PGA. I agree with you. I usually like the PGA setups for majors. And you have, half the amount under par winning. So it just speaks to my point. Like you can make golf courses difficult by narrowing them and growing rough. I mean, if you have 3, 4, 5 inch rough, I don't care who you are. You're not consistently hitting good golf shots out of that. It's nearly impossible to do. And anytime you get in there, you could have a really bad lie and really, make a big number. So that's how the old US Opens used to be played. A lot of the Open Championships in the past were really, really penal when you were in the rough. They've kind of gone away from that. I don't like it as much. But I really firmly believe rolling the golf ball back there's no point to it because of what I'm saying right now. You can modify golf courses with fairway width, placement of bunkers and penalty areas, and length of rough. I always go back to Marion. Marion was a great example of a shorter, old school golf course creating a compelling championship and a great champion ultimately. And I hope they go back there.
I do. All right, so when we talk about who's going to win the PGA Championship, I'll give you some odds right now. Scotty Scheffler plus 480, Rory McIlroy plus 850, Cam Young plus 1200, Rahm plus 1500. Wouldn't put a dime on him. Xander at plus 1600, Ludwig Oberg 1800, Matt Fitzpatrick 2200, Bryson 2200, Fleetwood 2700, Colin Morikawa at 4000. Wouldn't put a dime on him. Cantlay, Koepka, Minwoo Lee, JT, Nikolai Hogard, Justin Rose, Russell Henley, Tyrrell Hatton, Adam Scott, Victor Hovland. Give me a long shot that you're thinking about right now. I mean, Christopher Rattan, 10,000, plus 10,000.
Yeah, he's not backing up that win with another one, but Fleetwood at 2,700, I like. I mean, that's as good as any odds out there that I just heard. Can't put it past Scotty. Scotty gets amped up for the majors. He'll be relevant, probably. Xander, same thing. He's kind of geared his game around the majors more in more recent years. Always like him to contend in majors. You got to look who's kind of been trending in the big events lately. Aubert's been there. He hasn't showed he can close yet, but he's been there quite a bit. So those are my guys. I mean, how can you not like Cam Young? He's got as good a shot as anybody right now to win.
Somebody I would have been thinking about, but hasn't played in an event since the Masters, is Patrick Reed at plus 6,500.
I did just think Patrick Reed too. I didn't mention him, but I did actually think, because he's another guy who he's always there in the majors. He's just always there. He's a good putter. He's got a great short game. If he's keeping it in the fairway off the tee, he's going to be relevant.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I liked Akshay Bhatia at plus 10,000. Going way down the list here. Somebody who could rear their ugly head.
Fitzpatrick's a good pick too. Like Fitzpatrick, he's got the game for majors for sure. He's won some big events, including a major. Yeah, I mean he's probably got a little extra in him now that his brother had a big week and got a lot of attention. So I like him too. I mean, he should be relevant in the event as well.
Yeah, all the way down to let's see, Brandt Snedeker, who's now in the event at plus 100,000.
Wow.
His first win in a long time. So big time there.
The thing about PGAs too is they do produce some champions that come out of the blue sometimes. They really do. I mean, every now and then you'll get a PGA champion and, you'll never hear from him again.
No, Aaron Rise playing well, played well down in Myrtle Beach. Didn't get the W, but he's plus 17.5.
Where's Shane Lowry at?
Shane Lowry at plus 8,000.
Yeah.
Maybe
Shane
not a bad
Shane
call.
plays well in majors too. Yeah.
Sepp Straka, another name. He was the defending champion at Truist, plus
Where's
8,000
Brooks
as
at?
well. Brooks is at plus 4,000.
Yeah. I mean,
And JT's at plus 4,500.
okay. Yeah, I don't think JT's there yet, confidence wise, but you never know with Brooks. You never know.
Sam Burns plus 6,000. Might not be a bad drop a hundo on him. Get a decent return on investment right there.
Burns is contended in a lot of big events. Hasn't been able to close it yet, but he's been good. He's a Ryder Cupper. Like, it's another guy that could get it done.
By the way, back-to-back holes, 546 and 555. Which one's the par 4? Which one's the par 5?
555 is probably the par 4.
It's not. That was a trick question.
You're messing with me.
Yeah, the 15th hole is 546 par 4, and the 16th hole is 555 par 5. They have a 605 par 5, the 9th hole in the front. Finishing holes 490. The stretch coming in
605 is not even long.
No,
Like,
and
we have a 605-yard par 5 here at my course,
Yeah.
and it's, you get the right wind, it's reachable.
So, but coming in, 15's 546 of par 4, 555 par 5, a 229 par 3, and a 490 par 4. I don't know. The par 3s are 171, 242, 216, and 229. I don't know. I like mixing it up. I feel like guys are going to be hitting similar clubs on a lot of those holes. Give me 110.
Yeah.
Little postage stamp green.
Yep. Little 17th at
Marion.
Sawgrass. Like, I like a little short, compelling. Yeah, Marion. I like a little short, compelling, par 3 that's got trouble if you hit a poor shot. But if you hit it on, you're probably going to have a good shot at making a 2.
All right. Well, who's your pick? Let's get into that.
I think I'm going to go with Scotty.
I'll give you a second pick.
I know he's the favorite, but he hasn't been playing well, and everybody's kind of sleeping on him. I feel like second pick, I'll take Fleetwood.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna go Cam Young, and I'm gonna go Rory, just because. Like, I think it creates a buzz if he wins back-to-back majors. It becomes a huge story, and I like huge stories. Obviously, being in the media, huge stories are always great for me. So that's what I'm going with. What about a long shot? I think I had Akshay Bhatia as one of my long shots.
Long shot, I will go with. Man, they're not really long shots that I'm thinking of, but I'll go with Lowry. I guess that's a long shot, but no one's probably thinking of him. But I'll go with Lowry as my long shot.
I'll let it slide. All right. That's going to do it. I want to remind everybody about Makefield putters. Go out to makefieldgolf.com. Check them out. All the styles, the mallets, the blades, the customization, the weight system, all the different things, the colors that you can make these putters. What's been the color of choice? Is everybody doing standard, or are they mixing it up?
Order a blue. The blue is really slick. It's kind of like a navy blue, and he got a blue grip on it too. Really, really nice. Got his name on it and everything. It was pretty sweet.
Also want to remind everybody to go out to BeTheRightClubToday.com. Check out the site, catch up on all the podcasts there, plus the new store that is up. You can go out there and get accessories. You can get head covers, hats. You can get shirts. You can get outerwear. All kind of fun stuff. Men, women, youth sizes available on everything. So get your favorite gear and get a little get a little Hal Sutton on there.
Yeah, I was on there today looking at stuff. They've got some really nice stuff on there.
Lots of different brands out there. So pretty cool. And make sure you check it out. And I'll have, I think Hal is Is Hal off next week, or is he
Yeah,
back?
I think I'm back with you next week, and then Hal's back the week after, I believe.
Okay, so we might get a couple doses of Todd, and then we'll get Hal back on and see who he's got. But have a great time watching the PGA Championship this week, and Todd, have a good week as well. This has been the Be the Right Club Today podcast, presented by Makefield Putters.
Thank you for listening to Be the Right Club Today with your host, Hal Sutton and Mark Greenhalgh. Presented by Makefield Putters.
The preceding episode was a production of Moonlight Media Works in association with Walk Marketing.